Let's discuss. Hey everyone, it's Rachel back again with another reaction video, and today I will be checking out two songs from Greylotus' album called Dawnfall. Initially going into this reaction, I was expecting to just do one song, which is the one I'll start with, Shadow Archetype, but then after finishing it, I decided I wanted to do at least another one because I enjoyed it so much, so you will see that later in the video, of course. But starting off, Shadow Archetype, this album I found because their song Currents off of it came on my Apple Music station, and almost immediately I was like, what is this? And I checked, I saw it was off of a 2022 album, wanted to make sure to get to it. I listened to another song, which would be the closer off of this album. I loved it as well, so I wanted to be sure to at least do one more song off of the album in a video before I go through and listen to the full thing to consider it for my end of the year list. So I really like this style. If anybody else is familiar with Joseph Stalin's musical endeavors, Joseph is actually the bassist of this band, which I found out after like digging a little bit in when I really liked the sound of the first track I heard, that type of stuff. So anyway, Greylotus, I will link all of their social media as well as the videos I'll be using in this reaction in the description. Other than that, I'm going to stop talking and we are going to get straight into it. Oh. Oh. I don't even... I was gonna say, I don't even know where to focus. Oh. Whoa. Gotta be tiring being this drummer. Ooh. We should do another one. Greylotus, Shadow Archetype. Let's listen to another song off the album and then discuss. So going in order on the album, I've already heard Currents. Like I said, that's the first track that I heard from them that put them on my radar. The next one would be Chiara, Skiro, so that is what we will do now.
Maybe we all have in us a secret pond where evil and ugly things germinate and grow strong. But this culture is fenced, and the swimming brood climbs up, only to fall back.
Not letting up at all. Yet. Oh, even so. That transition riff. Oh. That's tough. Huge drumming movements on this album. It seems.
Might it not be that in the dark pools of some men, the evil grows strong enough to wriggle over the fence and swim free?
chaos. Controlled chaos. Greylotus, Chiaroscuro. Let's discuss. With these two tracks, really the 4 tracks that I've now heard off of this album, as I mentioned, there are 2 tracks, Currents and the closer off, which I am putting myself on the spot, so I can't remember the name at the moment. But those 2 tracks, hearing them off camera, getting into this band really through those, and then hearing these 2, they have similarities in them for certain, but I think so far my favorite might be Chiaroscuro for reasons that I'll get to. I guess I should start off with saying like what those similarities are that I'm mentioning and stuff. What I was thinking as I was like finishing out the end of that track was the way that it has felt listening to these 4 songs. The best way I can describe it is sort of like you're underwater swimming in like super chaotic water for a lot of the time, but then coming up for a breath of air in like some super opposite and like weird peaceful type of place, if that makes sense. I know that's kind of weird, but I guess like that's just something that like came to me as I was listening to that. I think that's what this feel has given me, and sort of being tossed back and forth between that like, you know, relentless, chaotic, all over the place sort of feel to the more melodic moments, the synthier parts, and there are different ways where I feel like that is expressed as well, and the way those are blended together and stuff, I really dig. Yeah, so then going into it, Shadow Archetype, it's got what I would say, you know, I'm mentioning with the similarities, the chaotic yet melodic feel, I think leaning more towards chaos of the 2 tracks. And as I go more into like the proggier deathcore type of material, I think I'm seeing more and more where, you know, you're passed back and forth between those 2. But I really enjoy the moments that like sort of slow it down, the way that the melodies are introduced, or however the melody presents itself, whether it be you know, in different contexts vocally and stuff, but here it's mostly like instrumental and stuff like that in those moments that I'm talking about. But one of the reasons that I think I'm favoring Chiaroscuro would be some of the vocal expression, or the way that like some of the vocal patterns are broken up on certain words and stuff in those more melodic parts that I'm talking about. I just love the way that it sounds. It's a huge driving factor for me. So yeah, I mean, there is a ton to take in. I feel like it's a lot just getting into a band to then try to dissect after hearing, you know, 9-10 minutes of brand new music that really goes into different places. As I'm talking about, you're having those moments where, especially in the drumming and in the guitar work and the riffs, the driving that chaotic feel that is so present in a ton of places on these tracks, I would say. It feels like with Shadow, they really tap into that deathcore sort of sound that you're hearing throughout these tracks, because you get that like chuggier breakdown towards the end. And I think that's maybe, like, I appreciate that, but that's probably one of the reasons as well that I lean more towards the other track. It just felt like it had a more, like, open feel, and while it was still, of course, chaotic, heavy, and such, it tapped into the melodicness incredibly well for me, and just in a way I felt it a lot more. And that's not to say I won't be revisiting Shadow Archetype or that I didn't like it. I'm just saying, like, between the 2, I think that's probably a factor for me. You know, I like that. As soon as you hear that sort of boom, boom, you know it's gonna drop from there, and so I appreciate that as much. But I think I like the route that you take a little bit more in something like, I don't know how to quite explain it. You know, I'm going to just cut myself off there because I'm sort of rambling, but really happy with finding this band and unexpectedly towards the end of the year and getting to go through this album. I'm going to go through the rest of it now and sort of see where I'm going to put it and all of that. So Maybe I'll end up talking about it in the top 10 or my top albums. I'm not sure, as I haven't heard the whole thing, but it's looking really promising. Let me know what you thought in the comments, and of the two tracks, which you prefer, what your favorite track is off the album. If you've heard it, I will link all of the band's social media in the description of this video, as well as the 2 videos I used in my reaction. All of that in the description, as well as the invite for the Discord server that I talk about in every video. In the link tree, all of the social media links can be found, as well as the Discord invite. That's where the community is based. We have music related channels in there. We have upcoming release dates. We have threads for our most played songs every month, our playlists for that. We have Last FM stats, merch, and then we also have channels unrelated to music as well for pets, entertainment, photos, games, all sorts of stuff. So if you're interested in coming to join, check out the community. That will be there, as well as my Instagram profile link, where I do post all music related content, whether it be my never ending merch collection. I am constantly adding to it, so I usually post once or twice a week about merch. I post a chart every Friday of what I've listened to the most over the course of that week, top 25 albums, EPs, singles, and how much I've listened to each thing on the chart. And I post about shows sometimes. If I've been to one recently and have pictures or videos to share from live music, I will do that as well. You get the idea. My handle on there is Rachel Reacts. It is the same as my YouTube channel if you have any interest in following me, but as I mentioned, it will be in that link tree in the description. As always, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it.